And good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's workshop on Atlas.ti. As Dr. Machila already mentioned, we've done a couple of workshops, where I was just introducing you to the basics of Atlas.ti, how to code, how to load your documents, how to group your codes, how to do a whole lot of things. And then we moved to a little bit of an advanced features of Atlas.ti, and we looked at things like code co-occurrence tables and a whole lot of things and conducting the analysis. But today we just want to have a look at how to visualize your thesis. So it's important, like I said before, it's very important that if the moment you say you used Atlas.ti in your data analysis, it's important that you incorporate the Atlas.ti visualizations, right? And I also mentioned that it's important that you incorporate the Atlas.ti language, but you can be forgiven for that if you don't yet understand the Atlas.ti language. You can be forgiven for that. But if you don't incorporate the Atlas.ti visualizations, then you cannot be forgiven for that. Because you said you used Atlas.ti, so you need to explain the process. And in explaining the process, you need to also incorporate the visualization, the images from Atlas.ti, excuse me, to show, to document the process and all of that. Okay, so now I'm going to turn off my video and I'm going to project my screen. We are going to talk about visualizing your thesis. And so I want to show you what do I mean when we talk about visualizing your thesis using Atlas.ti. So I want to show you an example of a thesis that did exactly what I want to show you today. So maybe let me just go down. Okay, maybe we can start here. Yeah, no, it's okay. Let's start here. So this is the first thing that I will show you. Atlas.ti document report. What does it mean and how to visualize it? How do you extract it from Atlas.ti? And then I'm going to also show you this ad hoc network. So what is an ad hoc network with a node? And how do you use this? How do you extract this visualization from Atlas.ti and incorporate it into your dissertation or thesis? And things like, okay, I want to focus on this. Maybe something like this, an Excel export to show your codes and your groundedness and your density. How do you extract this and visualize it in your thesis or dissertation? Code co-occurrence and code document tables. So how do you extract this? And perhaps, I think we touched on what they mean. So I won't go too much in terms of what they mean. And also this Excel export. No, this is not an Excel export. This is an Atlas.ti accept, also showing the codes and the groundedness and density. Maybe something like this. Okay, this is also an ad hoc network. So these are some of the Atlas.ti visuals that we want to talk about today. So this is more or less what I want to do today. Atlas.ti workshop conducted by me, Dr. Mzoli Mwanga. Different kinds of visualizations that you can incorporate into your dissertation or thesis. Gonna focus on word clouds, word lists, Excel exports, creating reports, searching for concepts in the documents, using ad hoc networks with a node, applying colors to enhance visualizations, code document tables, code co-occurrence tables, Atlas.ti accept to show code groundedness, density, and groups. So I want to emphasize that these are all different kinds of visualizations. There is more, but I just want to focus on these ones. Now, once you have Atlas.ti on your computer, you need to start to play around the program and see what other visualizations you can create for yourself. Remember that not all of these visualizations will be relevant for your thesis or dissertation. You have to choose the ones that are relevant for you, but it's important that you are aware of all of them. Okay, now let's start with the first one, word clouds. Okay, let me just highlight it. We're going to start with the first one, which is word clouds. Maybe I should start from the beginning for those people who don't use Atlas.ti very often. Now, this is when you log in on your Atlas.ti program. This is more or less the welcome page. This is what you should see. So if you already have some existing projects, these are your projects. Now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 projects. Okay. Now I want to open this one, Perspectives of ECD Practitioners in Free State. So that's a project. It's a research project. So I just click on it, then it opens, and you see here, Perspectives of ECD Practitioners in Free State, and the full name there. And here's the project overview. There are 10 documents in this project. There are 13 codes, 489 quotations, 1 memo, and 0 network. And I'm going to create a network here with you because it's part of the important visualizations. So 489 quotations. Quotations refers to the text segments that you have coded, or text segments that you have highlighted because they are important to you in your research, but maybe you did not code them. So those are all quotations. If you did not apply a code to a segment, it's called a free quotation. If you apply the code, it's called a coded quotation. So altogether, including the free codes and the coded quotations, in this project, we've got 489 quotations, okay? And there's some details here on the right, created by Mzoli Mnana on 2023, May 10th. So just gives you a little bit of a detail, and it also shows you the version in which this project was created, version 22. And I also want to mention that now in Atlas.ti, the latest version is version 23, 23 point something. I don't know 23 point what. So because there's 23.0, 23 point, maybe 0.01 and so forth. So, but this one that we are using is version 22. There's not much of a difference, so it should be okay. Now, we said we are going to look at word clouds. So this information that you have here, this project overview, you can also see it here, 10 documents, 13 codes, and so on. Now, let us open our documents. So you click on documents, and then you see your 10 documents. So there's participant 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. And if you look here, you can click on word cloud. Now there is nothing here. You see nothing, right? And the reason you see nothing is because you did not select a document. Now let's say you want to know what words jump out in the interview with participant 1. Here's participant 1. So let's click on participant 1. Now these are all the kinds of words that jump out in this interview, but these words are way too many. So let's make them a little bit fewer because it's going to show us words that are not important. Let's just put it there. This is how you reduce the number of words. Now these are the words that you see in the interview with participant 1. So you see them in a typewriter mode. So let's look at them in a spiral mode. All right, so that's a spiral mode. So support has 33 tokens. If we have time, I'm going to talk about tokens, what that means, but it's something you can also play around and understand for yourself. So there's support. We see words like community. So people talk about community. Some people talk about government. No, not some people. This participant talked in this interview, talked about government, talked about learning, talked about school, and so forth. So these are some of the words that jump out from this interview. Now, if you click on the typewriter mode, it means this big word, it appeared so many times throughout the interview, mainly because that this is not important, this word interviewer, because it simply shows that in the transcript there was an answer there was a question by the interviewer and then an answer by the participant. So interviewer participant appeared so many times. So that's not important. That's why you see it as big. It shows that it happened many times. So, and then children. Of course, this research is in early childhood education, so you're going to see children quite a lot, okay? Parents, support. And then here you can remove words you don't want to see. I don't know what's auxiliary, so let me just remove it. So that it doesn't show you words like yes, yes, say, things like that. You see, yes is still there. I don't know what we call yes. Symbol, punctuation, proper noun. I don't know what yes is, but it's important if you want to only show verbs. So you can choose verbs only. Like here, I choose only verbs. So it should only show me verbs. And then I can increase it a little bit to show me more. And then I see most of the verbs that emanated from this particular interview. And I can keep on adding. Let me add participant 2, participant 3, and see and get a more broader picture in terms of how many words are coming out. And then let me put it as a spiral. And then let's say you are happy with these words, and for whatever reason you want to take this and put it as well as your visualization in your thesis. So you're going to click image, and then you save it somewhere, and it will show as an image. So you can play with that. So I won't go there. But the point is that this image, you can take it as it is and put it in your thesis. Maybe you're just explaining something about the words or whatever, the action words or verbs that are coming out of your interview. So that's one way. That's one way of looking at it. And you might also want to show those words in a list, let's select. So you can also show them in a list like this, and then you export it as an Excel document. So here's an Excel, and then export to Excel. Okay, this version has got problems. I need to update it, but so it won't allow me to export it as an Excel. But anyway, in your own version, you can export this if it's important to you and then put it in your thesis. So that's one of the things that you can do with word lists. Let me just go back here. So, okay, word lists, that's what we are now talking about, because we talked about the word clouds, word lists. Okay, so let's come back to this word list and see something here. Okay, same here, you can choose what you want to show. Maybe you don't want adjectives and you don't want adverbs, you don't want prepositions and so forth. So you only leave what you want and you will see it changing immediately. And still you can reduce the number of words in this list, but it won't allow me to export it because of the version. It needs to be updated, the version of Atlas.ti. Okay, let me now have a look at what else we can do with these word lists. Okay, let's go to documents again. Let me close the word cloud. Okay, let me open a word list one more time. Account. Let me double click on it. So the nice thing is, if you want to see the context of each word, so where did it come from? So you can just double click on it. Then it should show you in the interview itself what the participant was saying about account. Okay, so that's another nice thing. So Atlas.ti is very interactive. You can move back and forth in different directions. Okay, now let me just have a look here. Word lists, okay. Let's close that word list, especially because we cannot export it. But maybe something else that is might be of interest to you are these reports. So you click on report, like I showed you in the thesis. Let's see what kind of reports you can create. So you click on report. So type of content, you select here what you want to go into your report. So type of content, maybe you want to also show groups, the document groups. We talked about groups in the previous workshop, so I won't go into that. And maybe you also want to show codes, but you don't want comments and you don't want quotations, you just want the codes. Okay, codes. Now let's create a report and see what it's going to show us. Create a report. So that is a report. Now, what does this report show us? It shows us that in this project, there are 10 documents, right? So there's participant 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, and so forth. So all together, there are 10. In participant 6, we had 68 quotations, and this document belongs to a group of documents. And that group are the interviews that were conducted in a place called Bloemfontein North, okay? And in this document, you assigned 9 codes, and these are the codes. Challenges experienced by ECD teachers. ECD stands for Early Childhood Development. Challenges experienced by ECD teachers, feeling safe. You know, some of the ECD centers are in dangerous communities, so there was the issue of safety and so forth. So I'm just trying to show you what these reports show. Now you can save this report and it will be a Word document, and you can put it as an Atlas.ti visual in your thesis if it's important to you. Remember, I said not everything is going to be important. There are some visuals that will be relevant. There are some visuals that won't be relevant. So in this thesis that I showed you, it was relevant to show this. So it was shown, this report. Here it is. You know, a very short one. So this is the report. It was important to explain. And let's see what is being explained here in the thesis. Okay, here the author of the thesis says the Atlas.ti report in figure 5.1 shows that 57 documents were added, and the three transcripts of interviews with teachers conducted by, okay, whatever it says. But anyway, it has relevance. It's a visual. It shows that there were 57 documents and there were 3 schools involved and so forth. So it summarizes all the information maybe that you could have written in paragraphs. So this is why perhaps this is important. So you can also find a way to shorten this because it will be in a Word document, or you can show the whole thing because it's only 1 page. Okay, so that's one thing you can do. I'm going to close it. I won't save it. Okay. Creating reports. So I just talked about that. Let's see what other reports perhaps can we create. Oh yes, there is another type of report that we can create. Let's say you want to create a code report. Let's just click on codes. Now we are not showing documents, we are showing codes. That's why you see here code manager. So these are all the 13 codes. Let's try to create a report for the codes. So we select a report. And what do we want to see? We want to see maybe the dates, and we want to see the comments. We want to see the quotations. I think the quotations will be too much. Let's not show the quotations. Let's show if there are any memos. We can show the memos. Comments and all of that. Okay, let's just see what's going to come out. So you can play around this and see what you will get. And these are the all 13 codes. This is the code. Okay, so there are no memos yet in this project, so we can close. Let's show maybe the quotations, but the quotations will be way too many. So it doesn't really help to show the quotations because it will be a long document. So like this, so you can't really use the quotations. But what I'm trying to show you is that you can also show a report for the codes, right? Let me see if maybe we can play something here. Okay, no, that one is not going to work. That one is not going to work. Okay, so the reports you can do for documents, but you can also do for the codes. Okay, let me close the code manager and see what else we can show here. Okay, let's look at searching for concepts. Maybe let's look at searching for concepts. So we open the documents again, and then we click at concepts. So you can see now there are no concepts. Let me just close that so that this one is in the middle. So there are no concepts, and the reason there are no concepts is because we didn't select a document. So let's select participant 1 again and see what concepts jump out when we look at participant 1. Now, this is nice. It's better than the word cloud because it gives you more information. For instance, if you want to know what the participants said about qualifications, you will see there are 8 tokens. So let's click at qualifications so that we can see more. It says there are 8 tokens. Now let's see what are tokens. A qualification, there are 2 tokens. It means someone who said a qualification, that happened 2 times. More qualification 1 time, qualification 2 times, that qualification 1 time, and so forth. So we call those tokens in Atlas.ti language. Okay, now let's focus on the qualifications. So here are the 8 tokens relating to qualifications. And on the right side, these are all the text segments where someone mentioned qualifications. Now let's click on the first one. Okay, you double click. And then it will take you to the document so that you can see what someone said about qualifications. As you can see here, it's a qualification. Now for me, it's a qualification. I want to go further, which means I want to study further to obtain a recognized qualification in early childhood development. So that's what the participant was talking about. All right. Let's see what another participant said. You just double click. And this participant said, okay, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to understand, or it's the interviewer. He says, I want to understand your own view about the importance of having the appropriate qualification for this job. So you can see that this visual is very interactive. It's better than the word cloud because you got it through the concepts rather than the word cloud that I showed you earlier. And the unfortunate part here is that there is no direct export. You cannot directly export this, but I think you can just snip it. So for those who don't know snip, so you just it's a tool to, you know, to take something from here, to take a screenshot. So you take the screenshot, and here is the screenshot. and then you can copy it. And if you need this, then you can put it in your thesis. Remember, you won't take it for the sake of taking it. There is something that you want to communicate about the key words that are coming out of your preliminary data analysis. So this is probably the preliminary stage of your data analysis at the beginning. You just want to explain the process that I was just browsing the data to get an overview of what the participants talked about. And this is where, in my view, this might come in handy. And then you copy this and you paste it as a visual in your dissertation or thesis. So those are reports. Sorry, those are concepts. You know, that's how you would search for concepts. So it's here. It's this one. Now let us see. Let us see if we can also maybe use it for codes to search the codes, the concepts that are associated with certain codes. So these are codes now. These are not documents. Now let's click at concepts again. So these are the 13 codes in your analysis. So we want to know about, for instance, we want to know about feeling safe. What did these participants said about feeling safe? All right. So safety had 25 tokens. Okay. Let's just click on it to see what were those tokens. So safety, the safety, a safe thing, safety kit, the safety issue, and so forth. So those are the tokens that were associated with the word safety. Now, we want to maybe know what were the participants exactly saying about safety. So you will open those like we did. So I'm not going to do that on account of time. So you will just double click on that. And if you need this visualization, you can find a way to put it in your thesis. And then you can also see it as a word list like that and so forth. Okay. Can I close that? Okay, let me close it here, close it there, and leave this. Okay. What were we focusing on? Word lists, concepts. Yeah, we were dealing with this one, concepts. Searching for concepts in a document. I might add and codes. You search in a document and also in codes. That's where you search for these concepts. Okay, so I just want to also move on to talk about ad hoc networks, okay? Ad hoc networks with a node. So what is an ad hoc network? So an ad hoc network is a kind of a visualization where you want to visualize maybe a particular theme, emerging theme or category in your data analysis. So here we have these 13 codes, right? Okay, let me not open them there. Let me open them here. Yeah. So we have these codes. Now, I've already, in my previous workshop with you, I talked about code groundedness. So as you can see, parental involvement had 257 quotations associated with this code, parental involvement. And what that means is this code, parental involvement, kept on recurring throughout the data set. It appeared so many times, 257 times, where this code was applied. Okay, I want a simple code like this one. No, not poverty. I don't want to talk about poverty. Let's look at teaching and learning resources. We want to show a network to visualize what was happening with this particular code, okay? So you can click on it, and then you click show in a network. Now here is a network, but now there's no network yet. So you have to add neighbors in order to show in a network. So this is a code. So the only neighbors you can show are quotations and maybe memos. If you have memos, let's start with memos. Okay, no memos yet in this analysis. Let's add quotations, and then these are your quotations, okay? So these are the text segments that were Okay, let me make it smaller. These are the text segments that were coded with this particular code, teaching and learning resources. All right. Now, what you also, okay, let's bring it closer, make it smaller. Now, what you can also do here, you want to right click on it and click preview so that it shows you nicely exactly what was said by the participant. Select preview, you select it and preview, you select it and preview, and so forth. Okay, maybe I'll just remove these ones. Remove, remove. Maybe you find that they are not very important. And then you can also do this so that it gives you, oh, that's one hell of a long quotation. Okay, you shouldn't code like this. You should not code like this. You should not have such a long quotation. You see, like here, there's a mistake here. But the nice thing is you can just double click on it. You can open it in the document. Let me see. I just want to reduce it. Yeah, so you can just do this, show in document, click show in document. Okay, my Atlas.ti is slow. Now it's a bit stuck. Let me see this. Okay, so now here it is in the document. So let me just reduce it. I just want it to be short. Let me maybe put it up to here. And then you click save. So what I'm trying to show you is that you can edit something anywhere, create or whatever. You see now it's small. So you can correct your codes anywhere. You can even do that here. Same here. If you want, you can just do this, show in document, and then you minimize. Then here's the document. I'm sorry to be too fast for you. It's not something I wanted to show you, but I'm just correcting something. I know I'm moving too fast. Sorry about that. Okay, now it's nice and small. Okay, let's just assume everything was okay here. So this is a network and this is a node. We call this, because it's in the middle, everything is coming out, it stretches from here. So we call it a node. So let's make it look nice. Then it's gonna look like this. Let's do it again. And then what you do, so you are happy with this visual, and then you're gonna export it. Don't select this one, XPS. You must select the first one, export as a bitmap, because this one it's not gonna show you. You will not have probably you won't have the program to open this type of image. So this one you will have the program. So you select, and then you save it. Let's say, let me save it here. Research Atlas.ti 22 August, and then you save it there. Okay, now let me go to my documents and open it there. I just want to show you how it opens. Research Atlas.ti. Okay, I'm doing it on a separate screen. Okay, let me put it here. Atlas.ti 29 August, and here it is, the image. Can you see? It looks nice. And then you copy it, and then you open a Word document. You open a new Word document, and then you paste it there in the new Word document. So that's a visualization you can use in your thesis to show the quotations that were associated with this code. You want to explain that. Maybe this is how your theme started to emerge from the data, or whatever the case might be. And it has a lot of detail. It shows that this is participant 9, and it has a reference here that this is document 4, this 42195. It means this is document 4, this is quotation number 21, and this is line number 95. Can you see? This is very important. It's very detailed, and it shows you here exactly what the participant said, and it shows you how you coded it. You coded it with this code, teaching and learning resources. And you can see here, this participant is talking about the resources. So that's one of the visualizations you can use. So I'm not going to save that. Don't save. Okay. But what you will see that this is a boring visualization. There's not even a color here. Okay. So you can click on it and apply a color. You just click there and you give it a nice color, orange. You can always change the color. Can you see? It looks a little bit better. Okay, let me close. Let me close this. Okay, so let me now move on. Okay, we just talked briefly. Maybe I'll come back to this. Let's talk about applying colors to enhance your visualizations. Colors are important, all right? So, but the colors must mean something. They should not be just for the sake of looking beautiful. So, I just want to show you the importance of colors and how you can use colors. First of all, purposefully, the purpose of colors. So the first thing you might want to do, let's say you click on document and document manager. Okay, let's do it again. I want to first open document groups. Okay, that should be fine. That should be fine. Let me see something here. Okay, codes. Okay, let me click codes, document groups. Okay, let me just open the codes. Let me close the document manager. Yeah, document manager. I'm just going to close it. Let's just focus on these codes. Okay. Okay, let's look at these codes. Teacher Pro, oh, the problem is that there isn't enough code groups. Okay, I'm just going to code them anyway. Let's say this code 1, 2, 3, 4. There was something in common about them. Maybe they spoke to a particular theme. So you will give them the same color. So I selected all 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I apply the same color for all of them. I apply orange, and then I select three. I select 3 codes. So when you select, you press Control to be able to select all of them. I hope you know that. So I selected 1, 2, 3. So let's give it the color red. Is that red? I'm not sure what color is that. And then let's select another 3. Let's say they speak to the same issue. And then we give it maybe the color black. And then this one, we give it color blue. And this last one, we give it purple. So those are your colors. Okay, let's just change it for whatever reason. Let's give it green. That's for variety of colors. Brown, whatever. Okay, so you've got now different colors, you see? Now this is important because you had your own reason. You have your own reason why you assign the colors. So at a glance, by just looking at a code, you know what it means, okay? But that's not the reason I'm showing you these colors. Now let's go here and create a network. I just want to show you that it will, appear a little bit differently. So in a network, you see now it's got colors. It's not really a boring network. It's a bit of a nice visual for to put in your dissertation. And then you also want to know, what did the participants say about health and nutrition? So you add neighbors, you add quotations. So there are too many quotations. So you will select a few that you don't want to include. So you just select all the quotations you want to remove. You right click and then you remove. And then maybe you come back here to the bottom. You remove those. Of course, you're going to read them because before you remove, you are going to read and select only those ones that you really like. You like what the participant said. So you like what this participant said, and those are the ones you are going to leave. And then you make it look nice. You see. So that would be a nice little visual for you. it shows that this code is associated with this code, and this code is a property of this, and these two are related. That's why it says related is a property of blah, 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 blah. So this is a nice little code, okay? This is a nice little visual that you can incorporate into your thesis, and it has colors. So I wanted to also show you the importance of colors. And if there are no colors, I just want to show you how it looks like. No color, remove color. So there are no colors now. Can you see how it looks? So the colors also enhance your visuals a little bit. So as I told you, you can play around this. I like it. I like this one, hierarchical left to right. I use that a lot. So you can also do it like that. So just play around with these two functions to determine how you want your visuals to look like. You know, so there's quite a few things that you can do. Maybe like that. And then you click export, and then you select export bitmap like I showed you earlier. Okay, I'm gonna close that. I'm not gonna save it. So we call those ad hoc networks with a node. And then I've also talked about applying colors, apply colors to your visualization. So I can highlight that. So this one, the code document tables, it's a little bit complicated, but I will show you. But maybe I should start with this one. Maybe I should start before I do that. Let me go back to this one, Excel exports, documents and quotations. Now, this, what you see here, you can export it to Excel, okay? And these colors will show. So let's click on, we want to show all of this on our thesis. These are the codes. These are the groundedness of the codes. This is the density of the codes, right? So let's say we want to visualize this table on our thesis. So you click Excel export, and then you select what you want to show: code groundedness, density, code group. Maybe let me remove code group for now. And then you click export. And then it shows in Excel. Why is it showing like this? Okay, let's close it and do it again. Let's select all of them. Maybe that's why. Then we do it again. Code grounded, density. That's fine. Export. Let's see. Okay, now it shows nicely. It shows everything. So that's your Excel export, right? That I showed you here, somewhere here. Something like this. I showed you. So this is something that is incorporated into the thesis. And this is very important because, as you can see here, in this thesis, it says figure 5.4 displays an Excel export from Atlas.ti reflecting the first 20 initial codes from dataset 1. A full set of refined codes will be displayed in the course of this discussion. The figure also showed code groundedness and density, which will be discussed in the next step. So you have to be that detailed when you explain your data analysis. So you are guiding the reader nicely with visuals, and you tell the reader that you are showing the first 20 initial code, the first 20 codes that appeared in your analysis. But you tell the reader that a full set of these codes, and refined ones, is still going to be displayed in the course of this discussion. And because in this table, in this Excel export, there is groundedness and the density, your supervisor, the person, the examiner might not know what is groundedness and what is density, because this is Atlas.ti language, right? The person examining your dissertation and thesis doesn't know what is groundedness and what is density. So you also tell this person that which will be discussed in the next step, so that they don't think that there are things you are leaving behind. So this is how it works. So this is the Excel export, and this is one we just generated from this. And then here it is. So what you do, this is your Excel export, and then you just copy it like that. You right click, copy, and then you go to your dissertation, and then you paste it here as an image like that, and then you insert caption, and then you say Excel export of maybe 10 of 13 codes. All right, you give it a name. Depending on your reference manual, I always like to put it on top, but I know in some reference manuals, they say if it's a figure, you put it on top, if it's a what, but this is a table, so we can put it above. Why does it say, okay, let's say table, and then you say, okay, that needs to be corrected. Which one is that? Let's just select normal and make it big or something like that. Okay, so that's your table, okay? And then you explain maybe below what is in this table. Can you see these colors? They make your table also look beautiful. So you explain what is in the table. Okay, something important that I just want to share with you. You need to automate. You know, when you use Atlas.ti, you are already using artificial intelligence. You are leveraging the advances of artificial intelligence to support your data analysis. So in everything you do, you must show that you are thoughtful and you are knowledgeable and you are competent. You know, you can use the technology nicely. I'm saying that because you see this figure here. It's also automated. So the whole thesis is automated. This is my thesis, by the way. I need to mention that. Everything here in this thesis is automated. So if I click on figure 5.4, it must take me to figure 5.4. Anywhere you see the word figure 5.4, it must take me to where is this figure? You see? Even at the very beginning of the thesis. So this is important as part of this visualization workshop that we are doing. I need to show you this. So you must have a list of tables and list of figures. So this is the list of tables. You see, these are all the tables. And then you have all the figures. Now let's go again to that figure 5.4. It should take me there again. You see, figure 5.4. So even if it appears here, I must be able to click on it and it must take me to figure 5.4. Even if it appears here, if I click on it, it must take me back to figure 5.4, wherever it appears. And that must happen everywhere in your thesis. Figure 5.6, I must be able to click on it. It must take me to figure 5.6. You see, there's figure 5.6 on top. If I click on it, it takes me there. Even if it appears later, like here, it must still take me back to figure 5.6. So just if you don't know how to do that, just go to the internet and search that. So your whole document must be automated. Table 5.3, I click on it, it takes me to table 5.3. 5.7 should take me there. So that's something important also about visualizing your thesis. Okay, we've done that. I've shown you how to put that on Excel. Okay, I've already done that Atlas except showing code groundedness, density, and all of that. So it's this one. So if you want, you can snip it like this, like I showed you before. Maybe you don't want to use it as an as an Excel export, so you can just snip it like this. And then you can copy this, and put it in your thesis. So let's say you just put it there like that. So you can choose which one you like, this or this. So I'm just showing you the different ways that you can visualize this. If you want to draw the reader's attention to certain codes here, so you can select this, maybe select this and select this. Maybe you want to explain something, and then you snip it like that with these 3 codes highlighted, copy, and then you put it in your thesis. You know, with these 3 highlighted codes. So you can also choose to do that. Okay, so we've done that, Atlas.ti accept. We've also done that, Atlas.ti exports. Now we are left with 2 visualizations. Like I said, there's more that you can do, but I'm showing you just a few ones, the easy ones that anyone can just do quickly, generate and put in your thesis. So code document tables. So what are code document tables? So let's just close this. Now, when you want to generate code document tables, we talked about code document tables, so I won't necessarily explain what they are. You just have to go to the previous workshop and link with what we are doing here. So when you are on the Home tab, you click on the Analyze tab, and then let's click on Code Document Table and see, okay, maybe we can close that. Now here are all your codes, and here and at the bottom below are all the documents. Let's select participant 1. And then we select maybe the first code, maybe participant. Let's also select participant. Okay, these ones. Don't worry, I will explain what I'm doing here. Okay, so let me just add one more code, maybe with this and that. Okay, yeah, this should be enough to demonstrate what I want to demonstrate. Now we've selected 1, 2, 3, 4 participants, and we selected 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 codes. We want to see how many times was this code, the first code. Let's make it big here, like this, maybe. Yeah. How many times was this code, challenges experienced by the teachers, used in this participant 6, participant 7, participant 8, and participant 1. So you can see it was used 18 times, right? This code was applied 18 times in participant 6, 5 times in participant 7, and so forth. You can also express it instead of numbers. You can also add percentages, row relative frequencies. So 48% of this code was applied in participant 6, 12% for these selected participants. Of course, you can add more participants. So you can also show those percentages. So they all add up to 100%. Even if you add another participant, it's going to add to 100%. So it will just change these proportions of percentages. So it should all still show 100%. But the proportions of percentages, as you can see now, they have changed. Now it's 36 here. So you can also, okay, this is fine. So if you want, for whatever reason, you want to show that all of these codes, for instance, let's just add more codes. Why is it not dragging down? Okay, it's okay. So you want to show that all of these codes, all of them, let's say you selected all of them. You want to show that they were properly distributed across the data set of your 10 interviews. So this is one way you can show that, and you can definitely explain this. You can definitely explain this. I just want to show you one student, what she did in her thesis. I hope I will be able to find it. I hope I will find it. She's using this table to just show whatever she wants to show. Okay, no, I'm not going to find it. I won't find that. This is okay. I'm going to leave it. But anyway, you can also use this visualization, and then you can export it to Excel. And then there it is. There it is on Excel. And you can decide how you want to incorporate it into your thesis. And you can just copy it, and then I don't know why it says page 1, page 2, but that shouldn't bother me. So you can copy this and find a way to put it as a table in your thesis if it's something that is important to you. So that was a code document table. So this is a code document table. And the last time I showed you that a code document table can also be expressed as a Sankey diagram. Let's see. Like you can express it here as a Sankey diagram. And you can also, if this is important to you, you can also snip this and put it in your thesis, this Sankey diagram, because already you can see here parental involvement is the most dominant code among all of these codes. You can see there are too many strands going to this participant, this going to participant 9, participant 7, participant 1. There was a lot on participant 1. It's about 43 associations, quotations associated with this code on participant 1. There are 21. I don't know if you can see these small numbers here for participant 8. So you can use a Sankey diagram, definitely. Let's remove the table. So this is your Sankey diagram. You can snip it and put it in your thesis. Let me see what else you can do with the Sankey diagram. Let's see, what can you do there? That's auto. So you can rotate it, but it probably won't fit your page. I'm not sure if it's gonna fit if you rotate it. You can also display the icons to show these are codes and these are documents. You display those icons. Yeah, so you can do that. So you just snip this Sankey diagram if you want to, because Atlas.ti version 22 doesn't have a way to export it. And then you just take it and you can use it. You can put it as a visual in your thesis to explain the distribution of your codes. That parental involvement was the most dominant code, and it is mostly associated with participant 1, participant 8, participant 7, and so forth. Can you see? And then your thesis looks distinct, it's different. The analysis chapter has got some detail that you don't find in most of these theses. And that's what really defines a UNISA student, because a UNISA student is advanced in technology. Because we are an online institution, so we should be a little bit advanced in terms of how we use ICT, computers, and these programs, data analysis programs. This is qualitative research, you see. So I've done document, code document table. The last one, code co-occurrence table. I'm just going to take 2 minutes on this one. So let's close that. Home. Explorer, Home, Analyze. Remember to get the code document table and the code co-occurrence table. You click Analyze. So we're doing code document table. Now we are doing code co-occurrence table. So we want to see which codes co-occur, right? We only see code. I know these are very complicated concepts. So if you find that you are a little bit confused, don't stress. And this is all theory for now. You will understand some of these things when you've downloaded Atlas.ti on your computer and you start working on it. So don't feel frustrated. Don't feel that this is a lot of information, okay? So just take what you can take. This should make it easy for you when you have Atlas.ti on your computer. So that's the purpose of this workshop. I don't expect you to grasp everything at once. I also took quite a long time to be able, to do all of these things that I can do on Atlas.ti. At this stage, I can do almost anything I want to do, but you can also do that. But over time, you're not just going to attend this workshop and go to your computer and do all of these things. So it comes with a little bit of practice over time. And to understand what all of these functions mean, obviously it will take some time. And also you have to have a little bit of a background on research, data analysis, and all of that to be able to use that knowledge here in Atlas.ti. So some of you are still developing the research methodology, data analysis knowledge. So you still don't know the possibilities that are there. So don't feel frustrated and think that, oh, this is too much for me. No. It's not too much. It's okay for now to have the exposure. And then later on, as you gradually start to familiarize yourself with the program, then that's when you will start to develop little by little. So this is the last one I just want to show you. So this is a code co-occurrence table. Let's go to this thesis and then we just type co-occurrence, code occurrence, and then we just click there. So this is a code occurrence table. It's quite a detailed explanation here. Recoded. So here, what is being explained here? You want to understand overlapping codes. You see, that's another term. What is an overlapping code? It's an Atlas.ti terminology. But I talked about this in the previous two workshops. I'm sorry, I can't go into detail about this because of time. But code co-occurrence is whereby you're trying to unpack the overlapping codes so that you can delete some of the codes or you can merge some of the codes. Maybe I can just do one small example of an overlapping code. Let me just open one document. Let's say here, you code this. It's already coded with love for children because this person talks about love for children. And then I apply another code, apply codes, and then I code it with positive feelings, you see? So that's another code. So love for children and positive feelings, these are overlapping codes because they refer to the same text segment. And this is usually not good in Atlas.ti analysis because it could mean that one of these codes is redundant. You don't need it. So you need to maybe merge these two codes. So that's a separate workshop altogether, but I just wanted to show you what is overlapping codes. So you might need to merge those codes. So I know I'm deviating a little bit. So to merge those, you come here, you look for love for children, and you look for positive feelings, you select, and then you right click. And then let me see, how do you merge this? Why don't I see the delete or merge? So you click merge and then you merge these two codes, blah, blah, blah. So that's a separate story, but let's leave it because I don't want to confuse you, but I just wanted to talk about overlapping codes so that you understand the purpose of a code co-occurrence table. So let's click on this code and see if it occurs with any of these codes. Okay, let me close that. Let me select this one. Not this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. I want to see if they co-occur. Now, let me make it big. So this code challenges experienced by ECD teachers. It co-occurs one time with this one, effects of poverty. So it's possible that it overlaps somewhere. Now, this code challenges experienced by ECD teachers. It co-occurs with health and nutrition 3 times, okay? So they occur 3 times. So you might even click here to see where do they co-occur. So here and here, so you can double click, then it takes you to the document. Here are the overlapping codes. So it takes you there. Now, when you want to show that code co-occurrence, you can export this like I showed you. You can snip it like I showed you. You can show it in a circuit diagram like I showed you, and snip it and put it in your thesis. So that would be your circuit diagram. And then maybe you can rotate this one because it's small. And then if you need to, you can put this in your thesis. I think I should stop there for today. So these are the different kinds of visualizations that you can use in your thesis. Okay, sorry about that. I just wanted to go back to my little program here, code co-occurrence. So we did all of that. Now, as you can see, I covered all of the visualizations that I wanted to show you, but I want to also repeat that these are not all the visualizations that you can do in Atlas.ti, but I was showing you the simple ones that I think you can start practicing on. So thank you so much.